Hi, everyone. It's a real privilege to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So I will be actually talking more about Braze mobility tomorrow here at 11 a.m. on the same stage. So if you're interested in knowing more about Braze, please do come tomorrow. Today, I'm really going to be focusing more on my own story and what really got me into starting Braze. So my story really begins as an undergrad at the University of Waterloo, heading to a lecture, and something really made me suddenly change my course. And any undergrad student here will understand and sympathize with me. And really the reason was because I smelled food. And any student will understand the only thing better than the smell of food is the smell of free food. And so I went into the room and started eating. And when I was done my meal there, I decided to head back to the lecture that I was going to. But right before I headed out, I figured as a courtesy, I should probably look around and see what was happening in this room that they were serving all this great food in. And what I discovered was this was a assistive technology course. It was a seminar type course in the systems design engineering program at the University of Waterloo. It was a fourth year project. And so there's all this great work happening in the field of assistive technology, wayfinding devices for blind people. There was assistive devices being created, and I thought, this is really great because I was in the bioinformatics program at the University of Waterloo. I'd always loved technology and always wanted to apply it to help improve quality of life. But I'd also always believed in equal opportunity for everyone. And so assistive technology really kind of called out to me as somewhere where I could really make a contribution and kind of bring all of my passions together. And so I started networking, and I ended up at the Intelligent Assistive Technology and Systems Lab at the University of Toronto. And so I went there, talked to the head of the lab there, Dr. Alex Mihalaides, and there were two projects going on at the time. So the first project was the one on the left, which was a hand-washing project. So this was a system that had a camera above a sink that would help people with dementia in the task of hand-washing. So it would prompt them, while they were in the task, if they forgot a step, it would prompt them to get them through the task. And the second project there was the smart wheelchair project. So what you're seeing there is a wheelchair that has a sensor on it, and if it detected something got too close, it would automatically stop. So I looked at these two projects and thought, okay, so with the second project, I would get to crash test a powered mobility device, and I was going to get paid for doing that. So I said, sign me up, and I decided to go with the smart wheelchair project. And at the beginning, it really was just a fun project, but over time, it became a lot more than that. So I went out to a long-term care facility for the first time and found that a lot of the residents there were slumped over in these manual chairs. Now, they didn't have the strength to propel themselves, and they weren't being allowed to use powered mobility devices because they had cognitive deficits. And so I saw this as a violation of a fundamental human right. And so filled with passion and rage, I did what anyone would have done. I flew to beautiful British Columbia and decided to spend the next 6 years building smart wheelchairs. So what I'm going to show you here is a quick timeline. I started in 2006. It took me 4 years to develop a system. What you're seeing there is a smart wheelchair that would not only detect obstacles and stop, but also essentially acted as an indoor GPS system. So it would also guide people with dementia while they're driving the chair. After 2011, I went out and built this maze that I got long-term care residents with mild to moderate dementia, 6 of them, to navigate through this maze with and without the system. And like every PhD student, I published the results, showed that our system could reduce collisions. But there was a lot of lessons that I learned in this process. So first of all, I learned the numbers don't tell the whole story. So despite the fact that I was in a computer science program getting all this quantitative data, I actually ended up dedicating an entire chapter to qualitative data because really there was a lot that people were saying that meant a lot more than the numbers. The big problem with this whole process was I spent 4 years developing the project, developing the system before I even engaged with my first user. That was a huge problem. So I ended up with all this great feedback, but couldn't really incorporate it because I was, finished with my PhD, ran out of resources. They wanted me to graduate. And then my last concern was, well, where do we go from here? What do I do with all of this great knowledge that I've gained? And what if the system never actually makes it out to the world? And so I decided to come back to Toronto, of course, because we have a wonderful ecosystem here. And I ended up at the Impact Center just across the street and ended up founding Braze Mobility. So this is a huge market that we are targeting. And some of the main advantages of our product is we are a very low-cost product, highly customizable and adaptable, and have built many strategic partnerships. We have a fantastic team with a lot of end users on our team that actually help drive our innovation forward. And so our goal really is to help our users navigate independently, boldly, and safely, because mobility is a fundamental human right, not a privilege. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's awesome.